Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. And today, my team and I will be discussing something that we are very excited about. And trust me, you won't want to miss this. But before we get into it, let me ask you, have you ever watched a sport and thought, wow, that looks intense? Well, there's one game that always gets my heart racing. It is not just because of the spikes and serves. Yup, you guessed it. So today we are talking about the sport volleyball. From the crazy plays to the amazing teamwork, this sport has a way of keeping you on the edge of your seat. And trust me, once you see what's coming, you'll be hooked too. But before we dive into those epic moments, let us have a quick step back. You see, volleyball didn't just appear out of nowhere. It is a pretty interesting story behind it. Whether it's in the beach, indoors, or in the Olympics, this sport is all about intensity. But have you ever wondered where it all began? So let's rewind the clock and take a journey through volleyball's fascinating history. It all began in 1895 when William G. Morgan, a physical education director at the YMCA in Holyoke, Massachusetts, wanted to create a game that has a best blend of the basketball, tennis, and handball. And he called it Mentinet. And the idea was to make a less physically demanding sport that still focused on teamwork and skill. In 1896, the first game of volleyball was played at the YMCA, and it didn't take any longer before it gained popularity in the US by 1916. The first official rules were published, and the game started taking shape as what volleyball we know today. Since William G. Morgan wants to create a sport that has best blend from basketball, tennis, and handball, that is why he has traits of the games borrowed from tennis and handball. And as what you can see in your screen, there are his first 7 rules of the games, and it was written by William G. Morgan. In 1947, the Federation Internationale de Volleyball, or the FIVB, was founded to govern the sport worldwide. In 1964, volleyball made its Olympic debut at Tokyo Summer Games, marking a huge milestone in its global growth. Meanwhile, in the 1940s and 1950s, beach volleyball emerged as a popular variant first in California, and soon became an iconic part of the sport, especially after the formation of AVP, or Association of Volleyball Professionals, in 1983. Today, beach volleyball is just as beloved as the indoor game, with athletes competing for the Olympic gold medals and world championships. And that's all for the fascinating history of the sport volleyball. And now I am giving the opportunity to my group mates to continue the discussion about the sport volleyball.
Facilities and equipment. Volleyball court. So this is the first equipment required to play a volleyball. It is consist by 60 by 30 feet or 18 meters by 9 meters. The length of the entire in-play area of the court, each side of the court is therefore 30 feet by 30 feet in size. So the lines is painted in all white. There are 5 types of lines. The first one is the service line. In the volleyball, it is the end of the line, which is the line that separates the court in a half. It is also known as the hash mark. The service line is the farthest boundary line from the net. The volleyball line server behind the service line. The second one is the center line. It is the line that divides the court in half, running from the sideline to sideline under the net. A center line foot fault occurs when a player's foot or hand crosses the center line. A player loses the point for your team if they step over the center line during the play. The third line is the attack line. It is a line that separates the front row players from the back row players. Usually, this is three people are in the front row and three are in the back row. So the front row is sectioned off by a line of 10 feet from the net. It is called also a attack line or the 10-foot line. So the front row players are not confined to this section of the court, but this is where most of their playing takes place. The last one is the boundary lines. It marks the perimeter of the court, including the end lines and the side lines. So all lines on the court are 5 centimeters wide and are a light color different from the color of the floor. The boundary lines are the two sides lines and end lines. The center line divides the playing court into two equal courts by 9 meters by 9 meters each. This line extends from beneath the net from sideline to sideline. The free zone in volleyball is the area around the court where players can move after the ball in serve. The space above the playing area is known as the free playing space, and it is the minimum of 7 meters high from the playing surface. For FIVB World unofficial competitions, the free zone measures a minimum of 5 meters from the sidelines and 8 meters from the end lines. The ball that using in a volleyball is a standard. It shall be spherical, made out of flexible leather or synthetic leather, case with a bladder inside, made of rubber or similar materials. The colors are the uniform light color or the combination of colors. The circumference between 20 to 27 inches or 65 to 67 centimeters, and the weight between 9 to 10 or 260 to 280 gram. The inside pressure of is 4.26 or 4.61 or between 0.30 to 325 kilograms per centimeter square. Next is the net and post. Net posts are positioned by 36 feet apart and 3 feet farther out from the sideline. Structure of the net. So the net is 1 meter wide and 9.5 to 10 meters long, and width is 25 to 50 centimeters on each side of the side bands, made of 10 centimeters square black mesh. Post. It placed at a distance of 0.50 to 1 meters outside the sidelines. They are 2.55 meters high and preferably adjustable. Height of the net. So the height of the net is the top is the set of the height of person who plays in the volleyball. For the men is 2.43 meters and for the women 2.24 meters. The structure of the net. So the net is 1 meter wide and 9.5 to 10 meters long, and width is 25 to 50 centimeters on each side of the side bands, made of 10 centimeters square black mesh. Side bands. White bands is 5 centimeters wide, same width as the court lines, and 1 meters long, fastened vertically to the net and placed above each side to the line. Antenna, a flexible rod to 1.80 meters long and 10 millimeters in diameter, made of fiberglass or similar material. Post. It placed at a distance of 0.50 to 1 meters outside the sidelines. They are 2.55 meters high and preferably adjustable. The post is the vertically supports that hold up the net. Competition volleyball posts are often made of galvanized steel. The playing area of the volleyball includes the playing court and the free zone, which is a minimum of 3 meters wide on all sides. It shall be rectangular and symmetrical. Dimensions. The player court is 18 meters long and 9 meters wide, and is surrounded by a free zone in 3 meters wide on all sides. The space above the playing area is known as the free playing space and is minimum of 7 meters high from the playing surface. The playing surface for volleyball can be made of wood, rubber tile, grass, or sand. The surface should be flat and light in color. The playing surface must be flat, horizontal, and uniform. It must not present any danger of injury to the players. The FIVB only wooden and synthetic surface is allowed. Zone and areas. So first one is the front zone. It is limited by the axis of the center line and the rear edge of the attack line. It is considered to extend beyond the sidelines to the end of the free zone. The front zone, attack line, and center line are considered to extend past the sidelines. A back row playing attacking in the ball inside the front zone when the ball is above the net at that time of contact is an illegal attack. The second one is the service zone. It is 9 meters wide area behind each end line. Laterally limited by two short lines extend to the end of the free zone. The substitution zone in volleyball in the area where substitutions must occur. Its location varies slightly depending on governing body, if IVB, USAV, or etc. And the specific situation, regular substitution versus liberal replacement. But generally, it's designated area on the sidelines. For regular substitution, the substitution zone is typically located between the center line where the net is and the 10-foot line or the attack line, in front of the scorer's table on the sideline. Players entering the game must enter for this zone. Substitution happen with designated zone. Otherwise, the substitution is considered illegal, leading to the penalties for the team. The referee and scorer's table monitor the substitution process to ensure the compliance with the rules. Libero replacement. The zone is usually the entire sideline area from the 10-foot line to the end line or the back baseline. The libero can enter to or exit from anywhere within this broader zone. The libero replacement zone in volleyball is a designated area on the sideline where libero substitutions occur, unlike regular substitutions which happen in a smaller zone between the center line and the attack line. The libero replacement zone extends from the attack line all the way to the end line or the back baseline. Warm-up area in a volleyball game is a designated space where players can prepare for the match. It's not a specific marked area like the penalty area or the substitution zone, but rather a general space near the court. Here's what you might find in a warm-up area. Space for light cardio. This could be a section of a gym or even a hallway where players can jog, do jumping jogs, or other light exercises to get their heart rate up. Next is stretching area. This is where players will perform dynamic stretches to loosen up their muscles and improve their range of motions. Next is volleyball specific drills. Players might practice passing, sitting, spiking, or other skills to get their skills warmed up and they're ready for the game. Penalty area in volleyball is a small designated space located outside the playing court, specifically in the control area, beyond the end lines. It's typically 1 meter by 1 meter and is equipped with two chairs. The penalty area is marked by a 5 centimeters wide red line. This area is used for officials like the scorers and referee to sit during the game. It's not part of the playing court itself, and players are not allowed to enter the penalty area during the game. The penalty area helps to keep the control area organized and ensures that officials have a clear view of the game.
Alright, so without further ado, let's now proceed to the next topic, the basic principles and the rules of the game volleyball. But before that, let us first comprehend the phrase knowing and understanding the basic tenets of volleyball can be helpful for both newbies and veterans alike. So this phrase means that learning and understanding the fundamental principles of volleyball can be beneficial for both beginners and veterans or the experienced players. So it suggests that having a solid understanding about the game's of volleyball core rules, strategies, and techniques can be helpful to improve the skills and performance regardless of one's experience level. Okay, since we are done comprehending and understanding the above phrase, let us now discuss the basic principles of the game volleyball step by step. So the first basic principles of the game volleyball is don't let the ball hit the floor on your side of the net. So it means that the primary objective in volleyball is to make the ball hit the floor on your opponent's side of the court, while simultaneously preventing it from dropping on your side. Then, the second basic principles of volleyball is called 3 contacts or hits per side. So this means that each team is allowed a maximum of 3 touches to return the ball over the net. So these touches typically follow the sequence of 3 contacts. So first contacts is the dig or pass. The second contact is the sit, or typically a sitter possessions the ball using the overhead pass to attack. Then the third contact is the attack or the spike. Next basic principles of volleyball is the players must rotate clockwise. So this means that each players must rotate clockwise when their team wins a rally and gains the right to serve. So this means that each players moves to the next possession on the court. For example, the back right, possession 1, moves to possession 2, which is a front right, and so on until possession 6. So the fourth basic principles of volleyball is no player can hit the ball twice in succession. So this means that a player is not allowed to make 2 consecutive contacts with a ball without the opponent touching it in between. So it means that a player is not allowed to make 2 consecutive contacts in a row or hit the ball twice in a row unless the first touch is a block. Then the fifth basic principles of volleyball is a player may not cause the ball to come to a rest during contact. So this means that the ball must be played with a clean, continuous motion and cannot be held, caught, or thrown. So for example, if a player palm the ball without making a continuous rally, so it can be considered as lefting or holding. So the last basic principles of volleyball is the net is off limits. So this means that each player is not allowed to touch the net during the play. So if a player makes contact with the net while attempting to land from a jump, to block, or to hit the ball, it can result to a violation and the opponent team will be awarded a point. And that's all for the basic principles of volleyball. Okay, since we are done discussing with the basic principles of volleyball, to continue with our discussion, let's proceed to the next topic, the rules and regulation of a gameplay. So this includes during the play, the serve, the substitution, the scoring, and the rotation. So let's discuss these step by step or one by one. So first, let's discuss the rules and regulation during the play. So the rules and regulation during the play are maximum of 3 hits per side. A player may not hit the ball twice in succession. So take note that a block is not considered as a hit. A ball may be played off the net during the volley and on serve. A ball touching the boundary line is considered as good. Moreover, the rules and regulation of volleyball during the play also includes that a legal hit is contact with the ball by the player's body above and including the waist, which does not allow the ball to visibly come to a rest. If two or more players contact with the ball simultaneously, it is considered as one play, and the players involved may not participate in the next play. Take note also that during the play, a player must not block or attack on serve, and the switching positions will be allowed only at the frontline players after the serve only. All right, now let's move forward to the important reminders during a served or the rules and regulations of a served. So these important reminders are: the server must serve the ball from behind the end of the line until after the contact, and the ball must be served underhand or overhand. However, the ball must be clearly visible to the opponents before the served. And take note that the ball served may be grazed to the net and drop to the other side for a point. So the first game serve is determined by a volley, and each subsequent game shall be served by the previous game loser, and the serve must be returned by a bump only, no sitting or attacking a serve. Next, let's tackle the importance or the rules and regulations during a substitution. So these important reminders are: there are a set numbers of substitution allotted per game. So this specific amount differs according to their league or level of the play. So take note that a player may substitute into the game only during a dead ball situations. And to enter the game, a coach or a player may request a substitution into the official, after which the substitute must enter into the substitution zone and wait for the referee's approval. All right, so as we move forward to our discussion, now let's tackle the important reminders or the guidelines that need to be followed on the scoring system of volleyball. So these rules and regulations are: of course, there will be a point scored on every rally of the ball, and the game will be played by 25 points, and the winning team must win or lead by 2 points, and the offense will score on a defense miss or out of bounds hit, and vice versa with the defense. So the defense, of course, will score on an offense miss, out of bounds hit, and serve on net. Lastly, now let's discuss the rules and regulations during a rotation of volleyball. So these guidelines are: the team will rotate each time when they win a serve, and the players shall rotate in a clockwise manner, and the team shall have 4 to 6 players on each side.
Welcome back everyone to continue with our exploration in the sport of volleyball. Let's dive back to the basic skills and terminologies used in the sport of volleyball. In volleyball, mastering the basic skills is crucial for both individual and team success. The first one is serving. Serving initiates the play. The serve starts every rally, and there are different techniques to serve, including underhand, float, jump, and topspin serve.
This is a work of art. This is a work of art.
The second basic skill is passing or receive the ball. It is used to receive the serves and attack from the opponents. So there are two types of passing. The first one is the forearm passing or bump, and the second one is the overhand pass. The third basic skill is setting. It has two functions. First one is positioning attack. The goal here is to set the ball in a way that the teammates can spike. And the second one is facilitating attack, or to set on a third hit for an offensive play.
What to do when setting?
Yep. Nope. Yep.
The fourth skill is blocking. It includes defensive plays or an attempt to stop the opponent's attack at the net. And the second one is creating a barrier. The players jump with hands overhead to stop the ball. And the third one is common foul, or touching the net during a block.
Not put your arms just straight up in the air, but make sure you penetrate the net. Get to the opponent's side and take him really early before you hit the bar. That's the way.
The fifth basic principle is hitting or attacking, and it has three important factors. And the first one is offensive play. There can possibly an offensive play if usually the third contact aimed at a scoring point. And the second one is spiking. The player jump and hit the ball downward with force. And the third one is difficult to receive. The force or the power and the angle make it challenging for the opponent to return. Okay, since we are done with the basic skills of volleyball, so now let's proceed to the lingo and terms of volleyball. Volleyball lingo and terms are crucial because it enhances communication and efficiency in the sport. So the first lingo or term is ace, or the unreturned serve.
Go on the ace.
Second is kill, or the successful spike for a point. Third is side out, or loss of serve.
To make the server make a mistake. When the server actually serves the ball, the object is to serve that ball in bounds. But when the server serves the ball out of bounds, we call that a side out.
Fourth, staff block, or direct block back at attacker. Fifth is dig, or defensive save of a spike. Sixth, paintbrush, or barely touching the ball on a spike. Seventh, six-pack, or hit in the face by the spike, or it is also called facial. Number 8, tool, or using the ball off the block for a kill, or also called using a block or wipe. Alright, and that's all for the lingo and terms of volleyball. Now, volleyball was played by millions around the world in both recreational and professional settings, with countless tournaments, leagues, and national teams competing globally. From its very humble beginning at the YMCA gym to one of the most popular sports in the world, volleyball has truly become a global phenomenon. And we have always remembered, as they say, that in volleyball, it is not about I, but we. And in volleyball, teamwork makes a dream